Good morning, Peter. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so, sir, will you please tell us from which place you belong, basically?
I live in Torrance, California. I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts, lived some years in Denver, but I'm living here with my two children in Torrance, California.
Okay, very nice, sir. So, sir, tell me a bit about your, you can say, about the Quora part. Quora, you are a Quora writer, and that's how we met for this
Yes,
particular platform. So, tell me
yeah,
about it.
we met kind of serendipitously.
Uh,
We've both been core writers for many years, and I've been writing there for just 3 years actually, and I have over 2,000 answers on meditation, spiritual awakening, and dark nights of the soul, and sorts of things like this. Yeah, and how long have you been writing?
sir, I'm writing from just 1 year. From last 1 year, I'm writing on Quora.
You see, you get a bigger following much faster than me.
Oh my God. Sir, following is of no use for me basically. This is actually I'm on Quora just to write my heart basically. I have to write with my heart basically, and
Good.
there is nothing like that. Followers, likes, upvotes. I'm not very much you can say focused on all those things, and
Yes.
much more important is for me to meet such beautiful souls like you. That is my main aim on Quora. So my
It's
all sessions.
flattering. I don't know. I don't know if I can trust you. You're flattering me. Yeah, no, I start off every single one of my answers with, first of all, I love you. And it's really funny that sometimes I get a very negative response from a few people.
Okay.
They don't know how to receive that. And so they try to correct me and say, no, you should say you are loved. Not that you love me. You can't love me. You don't know me. Of course I know you. You're my sister.
Okay, okay, that's a beautiful thing. So, sir, let's start about the you can say let's start this session with the first question of this particular session, because this session is particularly you can say for about the spiritual awakening part. So, sir, will you please tell us what is spiritual awakening? How you define spiritual awakening in your life? It's something like I slept in the night and in the morning I woke up like that. Is it something like that?
There's no, I mean spiritual awakening. I've always talked about it like a spiritual puberty. Okay, and I think this is a metaphor that really explains quickly and easily what spiritual awakening experience is going to feel like. It's awkward. It's not always fun. You've got a lot of changes happening. It's not always comfortable, but it's the next stage of life, and it's beautiful. And it's helping you to embrace a more mature self, and you're growing into your full potential. So spiritual awakening can be defined in many ways, but to me, the one that makes the most practical sense is spiritual puberty. Also, you're not in charge of puberty when you're 13 and 14 years old. Neither can you mess it up. Neither can you stop it from happening. You can't speed it up or slow it down. You're not in control. It's happening to you. It's a gift. It's a process. It's unfolding, and it takes patience, and it takes understanding and self-love and self-forgiveness for the mistakes we make, right? So ultimately, it's the soul's adolescence.
Okay,
That's what a spiritual awakening is.
that's what spiritual awakening is, sir. But I feel bit like it's about the spirit part that is awakening, or some my physical changes are also there in that. Some physical changes we feel.
Sure. Well, the physical changes will occur because what's happening is inside your physical body, you hold in your memory in your cells. And a lot of that memory is traumatic. And that causes the body to be in discomfort, which causes the nervous system to be on high alert, which causes this part of your brain to be in fight or flight and anxious and stressed. And
You're
then
talking about the subconscious mind.
we constantly feel uncomfortable, right?
Okay.
So yes, and so when what we're doing when we're spiritually healing which is not the same as spiritual awakening, right? They're separate things. Spiritual healing has to happen in order, otherwise, if you don't continue to heal, then the awakening kind of does slow down, which is kind of contrary to what I said earlier, but still, they're both true.
They're both true.
They're both true.
Okay.
I'll contradict myself 100 times, but I'll swear I'm right both times. It's because
that's the beauty of the concepts.
Different
that's
context.
The beauty of the concepts, you can say.
Yeah, so it can be confusing, but yeah. So what you're doing is you're releasing a lot of those traumas, and you're healing old mental patterns that are kind of repeating themselves. And those are physical things, and they're let go in your bloodstream, and they can cause rashes and itchiness and just irritability and bad mood. And like, this stuff is, it's got to get out. And so yeah, it'll change you physically, but it's not like you're going to grow a third eye right here for real, right? And neither will we have the abilities to fly, and and very often we love to equate spirituality with the idea of receiving special powers or receiving special, titles or adulation or something. It makes us special somehow. But really, spirituality is becoming us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Spirituality has nothing to do with me, right? It's kind of disappointing.
Actually, one of my friend told me that he's also saying that he's spiritually awakened, and he's saying, sir, I'm not talking about me now. I'm talking about us. That us concept is more prominent in my thoughts, and I'm more concerned about other people and this nature or this universe. I'm now more, you can say that I'm not fussy with my words, with my thoughts, and with my feelings. Me gone. Now it's us thing, like you
right.
you told us, like.
Exactly. The idea, isn't that what this world is actually seeing for the first time? The internet has given us this unique ability to see ourselves, to see one another, to see other parts of the world without having to travel there, to meet people who don't speak my language, and to be able to have a real relationship with them, even though we have never met in person. This is giving us an ability to see, and what we're seeing isn't all pretty, is it? And I think that's perfect. We're looking at our humanity, we're looking at our brokenness, because you can't heal something that you're not aware of. And so not only through the internet and on a global scale are we awakening to ourselves, which is the we. The we is the big me. It's the me that we all are, right?
Right.
And I feel like we have to do this on our own personal level as well, right? So, anyways, what are your thoughts on the topic?
So I feel like you are saying spiritually awakening, like we are talking about a bigger side or a bigger note, because it is much more bigger than even the religious parts. Like you are a believer of a Christianity, and I'm a believer of a Sikhism. So, but what you are talking, that is spiritually awakened soul, is more aware about the human beings as a whole, on a bigger note, I think, which I feel from your conversation, which I'm getting out of your words, that we are talking about a bigger source of energy, or you can say that is the most powerful source of energy on which we are talking about. And all the religions are actually more or less are talking about the same, that true power for which they are always, you can say, working on it. They are working also, they are always saying, believe this, believe that, believe those, but more or less they are talking about the same thing, which I am feeling.
Yes. I think also on a personal level, there's a growth. What we aim to do in meditation is to grow our awareness of ourselves so that we can look at the parts that hurt, and the parts that make us afraid, and the parts that we're ashamed of, that we ourselves, the parts we hate. And ultimately, spiritual awakening is the intentional looking at our darkness, not in order to shame it and say it's wrong, but to embrace it in order to heal it so that it can become what it was rather than its twisted, perverted state.
Okay.
Right. So, yeah. So what we're doing in meditation is we're looking inside and peering intentionally so that we can feel. We're moving away from thinking into feeling.
Sir, this is a surprise thing from me. Last week I have conducted a session with one of my guests, that is Sonal Maharana, and I'm promoting that, you can say in next few weeks I'm promoting that session also. Importance, you must have checked out the poster of that particular session, that is Importance and the Myths of Spirituality. So in that also she also said the same thing, that is going inside. This is all about going inside. And you are also saying the same thing. You are sitting in a different part of the world, and then also that is the equality. Spirituality is giving us the equality, I think.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the truth is true no matter what part of the world you sit in, and ultimately, there's no sitting. There's no outside world. There's only our spirit, and it's just looking through different windows, one that bears the name Peter, and then one that bears your name and responds to your name. But really, there's one spirit looking through all of our eyes, and there's really no difference. There is no distance. There is not. All of this can be seen as illusion. This could be seen as a school, which we go to in order to heal our spirits and to learn what love is by becoming what we're not. By experiencing what we are not, by becoming a body, becoming a matter, becoming something that disappears. That's all things we are not, in order by contrast to discover what we truly are, which is an eternal being, spirit. I am.
Sir, from this, please do tell us about, like you have a website that is www.gentleawakening.org is also there, and you are promoting your sessions, and I have just checked it out. You are having sessions on life coach events are there, then spiritual awakening sessions are there. So sir, in particular spiritual awakening, how you tell people that how in session what are your rituals or what are your techniques to being a spiritual awakened soul, which you taught the other people?
Well, I would love to say that I have a curriculum, but to be honest with you, I am the curriculum. It's spending time with another person, listening to them, feeling what they feel, and then telling them, hey, wait a second. Do you feel like this? Do you feel, because that happened to me too. And then all of a sudden, we have a friendship. And this is how we heal one another. It isn't through courses. It isn't through, even doing retreats and things together. They're very nice, but ultimately it's by sitting down with one another and listening and sharing our experiences that really tells us that we're friends, we're family, and we're in this together. So ultimately, what I offer is my time and my own experience, which is pretty extensive, if I may say so myself. But I do have this website, gentleawakening.org, and I just love the title because my awakening was anything but gentle. It was intensely rough on me because it was happening so slowly. I believe that was intentional because I wanted to experience it and remember every part so I could share it with everybody. And ultimately, that's what my website is about. It's just a portal so that you can have access to make an appointment with me, and we'll talk. And it could be about spiritual awakening. It could be about relationships. It could be about healing. It can be about, the Denver Broncos. I like the Denver Broncos.
Very
we can
nice,
talk
sir.
about
Very
football.
nice.
We can talk about whatever you want. But I do promise that by the end of our session, you will feel better. You will feel peace. People say that my meditations are like Xanax they call it the Xanax meditation because you take a Xanax and you're just like and when when you sit with me, you'll feel peace. I can bring you to a place where you will feel like you again. You'll feel like you can express yourself. You'll feel like who you are is just fine. And I think we're all looking for that.
That's perfect.
That's what ultimately that's what friendship is. And it's a lost art. So, hang out with me for an hour.
Definitely, sir. Definitely. It's really nice talking to you, sir. So thanks, Peter, for this beautiful answer. Like, I'm feeling it with my heart that your answer is so true and so real from your heart that it's directly approaching my heart, basically, your answer is. And I hope people will definitely contact you and they can get the peace within them. Actually, sometimes it's just like it's just like a dust on a mirror, and they need some person who can remove that dust. Then he can help them in removing their dust. So you are doing that thing on their part. They have the dust on their inner soul, and they are not getting the power from their soul. And you are just like you are clearing that all that dust from their soul, and they will get the real power of their soul from your sessions. I definitely feel that thing from your words, basically.
Absolutely. And it's the passion. It's what I love to do with my life. It's what I'm here to do, is to light something inside someone. One of the greatest gifts I believe I can offer is looking at you, instantly knowing what your gifts are, and just showing to you.
Definitely.
So that you can go use them, so you can feel like, hey, I'm not an imposter. I really have these gifts, and you can just go use them. It's no good to be a beautiful painter if you're too afraid to paint. If you're too stuck in childhood patterns of thinking, that it won't allow you to pick up the brush. Right?
That's nice, sir. Really, thank you for this beautiful answer, sir. Really, thank you for this answer. Okay, we will meet in our next session, sir, in some different question, with some different questions and different things like we have to discuss.
Beautiful. I look forward to it.
Thank you.